Hello, my name is Daniel Craig, and I'll be talking about the negative impact of the pharmaceutical industry. My thesis is the profit maximizing tendencies that is widely practiced in the pharmaceutical industry takes advantage of vulnerable consumers, results in a stagnation in industry innovations, and has a negative impact on the nation's economy. Over the last decade, drug prices have gone up exponentially from 250% increases all the way up to 5,000% or more. An elastic life-saving medication tends to be targeted the most because of little to no substitutes. The major perpetrators are Valeant Pharmaceuticals, Horizon Therapeutics, and Pfizer Inc. Despite the number of controversies over the last decade, the questionable and predatory practices of the industry are still present. Valeant began this business practice back in 2008 when it appointed J. Michael Pearson as their CEO. Over the next 8 years, Valeant CEO Pearson would buy out other medications and increase their prices dramatically overnight. Investors were pleased with this strategy because it created good results and allowed for a consistent increase in market value. The public didn't know about these practices until late 2015. This is when Martin Shkreli purchased the rights to Daraprim. Overnight, just like his competitors, he increased the price alarmingly by 5,000%. The media put the spotlight on Shkreli first, and then eventually Valeant after these practices became into better light with the public. Martin was removed from his position as CEO of Turning Pharmaceuticals and sentenced to 7 years in prison in 2018. He is still there to this day. Investigation into Valeant began, and it was quickly discovered that they had connections with another controversial pharmacy, Philidor RX Service. Philidor was an online mail-in pharmacy that specialized in selling Valeant medication. Philidor had lost its license to sell medications in California because they lied about their ownership to the California. To get around this, Philidor bought out other pharmacies and used their name and license to get medications sent out to California. It was also discovered that Valeant used Philidor to forge scripts for medications to bolster their profit margins and make it seem like the medicine was selling better than it really was. After the investigation, Valeant had to sell off most of their product line and change their name. They are now known as Bossk Health. Many of the companies in the pharmaceutical industry still their business strategy. Horizon's probably one of the biggest perpetrators, as every drug on their product line features high-cost medications for rare conditions. On January 1st, 2014, its first day selling Venmo, Horizon raised the list price for 60 tablets to $959 for a 597% increase. Venmo now sells for $2,601 for the same amount of tablets, a 1,619% increase since its original price. The current patent system is the biggest deterrent to new innovations in the pharmaceutical industry. By creating minor adjustments to a patented medication, businesses keep a drug perpetually patented, preventing new competition and new alternatives to the drugs from being introduced to the market. In fact, a 2016 study found that these sort of tactics to delay to generic competition cost Americans at least $5.4 billion annually. People have been using crowdfunding to pay for medical expenses since 2014. Though it may seem altruistic, relying on crowdfunding puts many people at a disadvantage, especially the elderly, due to the increased health risk, lack of cash flow, and increased difficulty with new technology. Finding new methods like crowdfunding rather than demanding better, more affordable care only adds to the challenge we face in reforming our healthcare system. The increases in medicine prices has caused a mass increase in insurance premiums across the United States, averaging on up to 40% since 2008. Public and private insurance programs are failing. 14% of adults don't have health care, even after the passage of Affordable Care Act, and out-of-pocket spending costs Americans $365 billion a year. Even those with perfect health are faced with a greater burden due to higher drug prices. Valeant changed the playing field of the medical industry by acquiring life-saving medicines and then drastically raising its price to stimulate growth and profits. Investors were eager to back Valeant because it made them money, and competing companies quickly followed suit out of fear of falling behind. Even after Valeant's downfall, many continued to extort patients using life-saving medications, including Horizon and Pivzur. Such practices have caused a stagnation for new innovations, increased insurance premiums for all, and a new reliance on crowdfunded healthcare. This is my bibliography for this presentation, and I would like to thank all of you for viewing my presentation. My name is Daniel Craig.